Welcome, everybody.
Welcome to this week's
Yeah. I need some applause, please. On the front, it says Pastor Carson.
Come on.
Or I think Potential Church. King Kong versus Godzilla.
That is incorrect.
Titanic.
Oh, let's see. It is, in fact,
Correct. So if you'd like to be involved in the show, whether that's running a camera or the technical stuff, or if you just want to be in the studio audience, this means technical stuff.
Yeah.
Right here, technical stuff. You guys are producers. You know we're giving away a prize, and we don't have a drum roll?
I mean, we have.
Hey! Where's my applause? Come on!
How many weeks is this now?
I mean, we've been doing this for how long?
You know, my position does a lot more. Like,
here we go.
in the very beginning, so I'm always a little late to hit the applause.
He's setting up for a raise, is what that is.
Oh my goodness. He needs an assistant.
Yes, he
do.
does.
And then I do want to invite, we do have room in the house tonight.
Come
on. If you want to come, Troy at troygramling.com. That's right.
Yeah,
Troy
or
at
you
Troy-
can just roll in.
Or you could just roll in and we'll make a place for you, set you on the rug, be kind of like a hippie.
Oh.
Kind of like that movie, Revolution or Revelation. What was it?
Jesus Revolution.
Jesus Revolution. I started that movie, then I quit watching it.
Why?
Well, the reason I quit watching it is it took me back. When that dude walked up to the pastor and jumped on him about the people being there, I felt it took me back to a bad place.
Oh.
I've lived that movie.
That's good.
It wasn't, I still have nightmares.
I can tell.
I have PSTD. Is it PS?
No. PTSD.
Oh, anyways, I don't know what that has to do with anything. I am glad you are here. We call this we call this SN. I was going to say PTL, but that's another bad thing. We call it SNL, right? We do a live stream every Saturday night at 7 o'clock. We hang out. And let me tell you what's going to happen today. Because today, of course, is Mother's Day Eve.
Oh.
And we have church at night. And we did something at church tonight that we don't do at church at the day. We had a big giveaway. We had 4 prizes.
Oh.
Because we had someone who loves mothers and wanted to make sure that church at night moms were honored. So we had a prize from Louis Vuitton. We had a prize from... Could the producer get applause? All right. Louis Vuitton.
He was drinking.
Yeah, I was drinking
on
some
the
water.
job.
Oh my gosh. Louis Vuitton. We had one from Dior. We had one from Sephora.
Oh.
And then, how do you say the other one?
Givenchy.
Givenchy.
Look at that.
Givenchy.
I gotta be honest. Out of the 4 of those, if I got Sephora, I'd be upset.
Sephora, you may not know this, but Sephora, there are over 70 brands that are part of LVMH, and Sephora brings in the second amount of revenue.
I believe it.
But anyways, so we gave those away, and they were all taken. We had a little contest for some of our moms, the oldest. We had 2 ladies, one who was 79 and one who was 92, I believe. And then the one with the most children here in the house. We gave those away, but guess what they didn't choose? The Louis Vuitton.
Interesting.
So we are going to be giving it away because on the way out of the house, you got a blue ticket and you were able to get that. In addition to that, we're going to be giving away. So if you didn't get a blue ticket, if you weren't in the house, then you
Miss out.
you can't win that, okay? But what you can win is we have some T-shirts from Houston because this is traveling season, and we had shirts from Orlando last week. This week, Steph and I went to Houston. I wanted to show you some pictures. It was Joel and Victoria's at Lakewood Church. It was their 25th year of ministry celebration. And so there they are. They shared a little bit about their ministry. And Steph, what'd you think? What was the most interesting thing they shared? just getting to hear this,
From kind of beginning to end.
the same story you've heard 50 times. All right?
Did he cry at the same part?
Joel is a very sensitive person. He really is.
Yes.
I love Joel. Here's the hard part about being around Pastor Joel is that I always feel like a bad person because he's such a good person.
Right.
And he really is. I'll never forget the first time I heard him speak. I thought he's not going to do very good. And the reason I thought nobody can be that nice. And then once I realized I was incredibly wrong and he was going to do very well. Message of Hope is quite attractive. And I wanted to get to know him. And Steph and I have had the unique opportunity to get to do that. And he and Victoria both are incredibly kind, loving, sincere. It's real, all the things that they do, they're not fake. And they've made a big difference in the world. So we got to go and spend some time with them. And guess who showed up? Dr. Phil.
The doctor.
The doctor.
Behind Dr. Dre.
Yes. You know how old Dr. Phil? You know how old Dr. Phil is? How about in the chat room? You guys know how old he is?
74.
Yeah, I was going to say
That's a
like
good guess.
73.
75.
He's 73. He's
come on.
73. So it's good to have with us Thomas. Hey, we're glad you're here. Eric, we're glad you're here. Tyler, Giselle, Thomas, Francine, Chris, Derek, and I was trying to think, what's that number mean? I forgot. How old is Dr. Phil? And then I saw earlier that we had the evil queen in the house.
The one and only.
The one and only evil queen.
I have a guess who that is.
You do know who it is?
No, but I mean, just with the name.
Oh, that's it. Okay. So, anyways, Dr. Phil talked about family, and he is a Christ follower. Here's what he said. You may not know this, but Dr. Phil owns his shows. CBS does not own his shows. And it's one of the most
didn't know
popular
that.
shows on TV. So he said one day, one of the shows he was doing it led into him sharing a little bit about his faith. And he said in the audience that day were some CBS executives. And so they came up to him afterwards and they're like, oh, great show, awesome guest. He said, but we don't really talk about our faith like that, on our programs. And Dr. Phil said he looked at him and he said, gentlemen, I own my own show. And that means you don't get an opinion about what I talk about on my show. So he stood up against the executives for his faith. He's going to be starting his own channel. 24 hours a day, I think. I don't think they'll go off the air. Maybe they do it. I don't know. But it's his own channel, kind of like Oprah does, or TNT, whatever. He's going to have his own channel. Going to have here's what he said. He said he wanted to be able to have a channel that you could leave on all day and not have to worry about your kids walking into the room. So he's going to have encouraging and inspiring programs. I'm sure he'll have some reruns since he owns his own shows of the better shows. So I think that's exciting. He was on his way to Israel, and it was awesome because I'd never seen him. He's a big guy. Joel's not real tall. But Dr. Phil is a big guy, big tall guy. But anyways, so we were in Houston, short trip, but we did pick out some T-shirts because we got to love our community. That's the whole reason that we're doing this here on Rumble and on YouTube. Is ultimately we want to build a community where we can come and hang out for just a few moments and do life. One of the things that we try to do is we try to have some fun and make some comments as pastors and leaders on what's going on in the world. And we call it let me tell you. I forgot to tell you how you can win the T-shirt. Freeze. Stop. Here's the way on the T-shirt, you have to invite somebody to the live stream. They have to go onto the chat and say who invited them. We'll put all those names in a little bucket and we'll draw for the T-shirts because the T-shirts are actually, all the prizes are back here behind me in the locker
of opportunity.
Surprise. The locker of surprises. And so, here is Mr. Vuitton, all right? And here are, I want to show you these T-shirts because they're pretty good. One of these Stephanie got. Let me see if you can tell which one Stephanie got. Was it this one, which is if you are a Houston Texan fan? This is a cool looking shirt, all right? Gonna give that away. And then this is a Houston, I think, Rockets shirt. Woo, go Rockets.
Look at that.
All right.
There better not be an Astros shirt in there.
No, I was afraid to get an Astros shirt because I thought people would say, cheater, cheater. So instead I got this one. What do you think about this one?
That's good.
So which one do you think Steph got?
The Rockets one.
She got this one. Body by Chips and Queso. So anyways, we'll give your choice of T-shirt for you and the person who joins the live chat. But right now, we're going to do a little tea with PT.
Live.
We're here.
Hey, I'm sorry. We had technical difficulties there, folks. My rear end got in the way, and I sat down on one of my cords. All right, here we are. Let's look at culture.
So have a little story here. Now, you are, before we get into the story, you are as you said, a pastor. You're also a speaker, right? That is one of your responsibilities. So I think you can relate to when things don't go according to plan while thousands, hundreds of thousands, possibly millions are watching, right? So here's a little kind of touch of what that looks like live. So if we bring this up. So you can kind of see there, as she goes live, there's still someone messing with her hair, someone like coming in. So I thought, first off, you know what that's like. So I thought it would be fun is if we looked up some of the funniest bloopers, okay, of when moments like this happen, where on the news, very serious most of the time, things don't go according to plan. You give your thoughts on it.
I love these.
Okay, so feel free to pause it at any time.
When I'm discouraged, this is what I watch.
There we go.
Action 7 News reporter Christine Pay is at the scene with what we know. Apparently, we don't have that story. Right now, astronomers are doing
The investigation itself was
That is,
The paper toss.
So it didn't have it. He called it, and then it went to it, you know?
Yeah.
I've seen this happen on our stage before.
Yeah,
and I've seen you throw your papers.
I don't
just
throw
to
my
say-
papers. I don't throw my papers. Here's what Pastor Dan used to always do. He would say, "Give it up for the sound man."
That's great.
They hated it when he'd do that.
DiCaprio.
Oh, hold it,
that
stop,
person.
stop. I asked. We had. If you go and watch the podcast, one of the podcasts is Constant Jones, who is a TV reporter, and I talked to her about. Do you guys pick the windiest places and the biggest water puddles to stand in during hurricanes?
And she said, absolutely.
She said yes.
Yep.
So they get what they deserve.
That's got to be like
chose
the new guy job, right?
Yes.
Like there's no way they're putting the prestigious.
Well, I don't know, because it's kind of, I'm fighting the world. I'm the hero.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've never well, never mind. Anyways.
Live in Hernando, Mississippi, where there's been spottings of a cougar, and that's not it. That looks like a house cat. But we're just feet away from where a local man rolled his
Why did he
cell
do
phone.
that?
No idea.
Someone must have told them it's right behind you. Like, that's it.
As a joke.
That must have been
They
what
got him.
happened.
Yeah.
It
Very
makes you wonder,
unfortunate
was
for
there
him.
ever a cougar?
Yeah, that's a team that's setting that. You see, you have a great team. We set you up for success.
Amen.
That's a producer that set him up for failure.
On what
That's right.
some say
Probably getting even.
is a cougar.
Yeah.
I'll be right back with a report.
When Monique Vanderstroom first opened her Waianae dairy farm in 2008, she wanted to sell milk, but all the rules and permitting required to bottle the milk made it difficult for the small farmer to do so.
You knew something was going to happen. You knew. I one time filmed. We were talking the story of the prodigal son, And there's someplace down in Miami, way out in the middle, just a pig farm. And I got into the cage with all these pigs, and it was scary.
I believe it.
Pigs can be mean, and they dropped me to the ground. And
yeah, animals are tough.
We probably have that on video somewhere.
We need to find that one.
No.
Oh, that sounded terrible. Back to the hoses. Goodness gracious.
Here's some other great town names. Lititz.
It's Lititz. Oh, I didn't pre-approve all of these.
What's up, producer?
Will be, nice for after we are done covering this.
1 million BT customers could see their bills fall.
All right, but you get the idea of it, more or less.
Who's the producer of this show?
Oh, man, Jess. Jess, she should have checked.
She approved of it.
She should have checked them.
She approved of it.
Oh, me. Well, hey, pastors have been known to say things unintentionally that they don't need to say.
Have you had a moment like that?
Yes.
Like comes up in your head?
Not in my head. I've said things.
Oh, intentionally.
Well, not intentionally, no. But I'm just saying words come out that you didn't
mean to say. Yeah.
Well, not that you didn't mean to. I mean, you don't mean words. You weren't saying them.
Right. It's not like you were like, oh, it slipped out.
Right.
That was not there. Your words just fumbled together.
And the word, and the word that came out wasn't a word that should be spoken. You know what I mean? So,
did you address it or roll right through it?
Well, you know, everybody's wanting to laugh in a moment like that. And so you can try to keep going and watch people, you know, hitting somebody in the shoulder, or just say, okay, let's just have everybody laugh. Here, I'll tell you what I was trying to say. I'll tell you what I said, but I was trying to say, this is years ago. I was trying to say the word peanuts.
I can only imagine.
The Peanuts cartoon is what I was trying to say.
I almost had a similar deal where it just fumbled together. Almost. I didn't say it, but the F word almost came together. I know. That would have been hard with students.
Yeah.
That would have been hard to
hard with their parents after.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. I would have said Nick Tot for sure. Okay, so this I thought was interesting.
So toddler born deaf. No, I was reading. I forgot. Sorry about those of you in the chat. All right. How about hey? Have you guys ever had that happen, where you've had something come out that wasn't supposed to? Now let's talk about a baby coming out. All right. Toddler born. Speaking of a baby, we do have a new baby in the family.
Come on.
One of our team members, Pastor Brandon, I call Brandon.
You call people who are pastors not pastors, and you call people who aren't pastors.
But Brandon and his wife, Helen, Brandon is, I don't know what his title is. He kind of produces on the weekend and everything. Yeah. But anyways, him and his wife, Helen, just had an 8-pound, how many ounces?
12 ounces.
A large
big old
child.
Baby.
Big old baby.
Big old boy.
A large child. And what do we know the name?
Braden Alexander.
Braden Alexander. Braden Alexander. All right. So anyways, a toddler was born deaf, can hear after gene therapy trial breakthrough. Her parents call it mind-blowing.
This 11-year-old from Spain is wheeled into surgery at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia on October 3rd. He was born unable to hear and has become the first person to get gene therapy in the United States for congenital deafness.
What we've really accomplished is exciting because it's the first time that hearing has been restored in a child, really in a human being, for a hereditary type of hearing loss.
A CHOP surgeon developed a cutting-edge, minimally invasive endoscope that allowed the gene therapy to be surgically...
Stop. Did she just say rewind that? Just a little bit.
...that allowed the gene therapy to be surgically placed
Go back further, a little
into
further.
the inner ear.
Hearing loss.
A CHOP surgeon developed a cutting-edge, minimally invasive
Okay,
endoscope...
stop. Minimally invasive. And there's like how many surgeons in there? Right? It's like that does not look.
No, it doesn't. There's a lot of machines and a lot of people.
That looks pretty major to me. I mean, I'd hate to see major surgery if that's just minimal.
Yep, absolutely.
That allowed the gene therapy to be surgically placed directly into the inner ear.
The idea here is to replace a defective gene that a child is born with, restore that gene to the inner ear by literally injecting it into the inner ear. And it's a surgical procedure to do that, but it's exciting because if we can get the gene back in and get it functioning, it should restore hearing.
Now, almost 4 months after the operation, he's back for testing and raises his hand, indicating he's hearing. Since receiving the experimental treatment in one ear, the boy's hearing has improved significantly. For safety reasons, the FDA wanted researchers to start with older children and only treat one ear.
We've always wanted to be able to restore natural hearing. And we're finally, and we've been waiting 30 years for this to be here, and it's finally here now. And that is restoring a defective gene that you're born with.
The boy from Spain was reportedly initially frightened by noises and voices he'd never heard before. Now he says he's enjoying hearing everything. Stephanie Stahl,
That's
CBS
pretty
News.
amazing. That's pretty amazing. You think
a new, highly awaited report from the Biden administration.
I don't think we'll talk about Israel, but I think that I can't imagine either the parent or the child when you can't hear and then all of a sudden you can.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you were born without being able to hear, so you've never heard sound.
Yeah.
You know, they have that, I guess, for people who kind of lose their hearing, that bone induction, where back here, they can do something where people can hear. And now they have those headphones. Have you guys had the bone induction headphones? I've got some at home. Bose came out with what they call, I don't know what they call them. What do they call them, Steph? Open ear? I don't know, but basically they just set on your bone and then a little part of it goes into your ear. And when you hear it, like you can hear, it sounds awesome, but you're asking, because it's not over your ear or in your ear, you're thinking, you got to be able to hear this, but the person can't hear it. Only you can hear it.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
cool.
it's not like good for an airplane because you hear everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear everything because it's not blocking your ear. You're hearing it through your bone. You're in your ear. And, but like for sleeping and those kind of things, or if you're like mowing your yard, or if you know, in your car or whatever, they're really, really awesome. And the Bose are a step above all the other technology. They are incredible.
Interesting.
And it's just the first few times, like Steph wouldn't believe it, and then she got some. So, and I think they're on sale right now. Now I don't get a part of Bose. I'm not invested in Bose, but they are really, really incredible. All right.
I do have one more, unless you wanted to jump forward.
Well, I guess it depends on what it is.
Okay. I think it's exciting.
Okay. Let's see it, producer.
Okay, so you talked about the Miami Heat, right? Just recently. And unfortunately, the Miami Heat, their season is over. But it's all good because the Panthers season is still alive and well.
Awesome.
And it was an exciting game where, as you can see, two players did, in fact, go at it, our captain and their captain. I want to get your thoughts on the hockey fight.
All right.
Okay, I wanted to get your little commentary on this fight. Oh, wait. Wi-Fi, man.
Does anybody know who the tech person is here? The IT person? How's he going in the chat? Oh, he's going right under his name.
There we go.
Oh, stop.
I wish I could.
Oh my goodness. The guy, hold on, go back to where because it looks like the guy from the Panthers is like on top at first, right? Because he knocks the other guy's helmet off.
Yeah.
All right, let's see that part again.
Oh, look at cracks him right in the face. He's
couple times.
And then he wants so badly to get revenge, but the refs come in.
Did they both get kicked out?
So there was I think it was over 140 penalty minutes served in this game. At this point, there were more people kicked out than people who were playing.
Wow. What did they get so mad about?
They were losing 6-1. So they were quite upset. Hockey's interesting, though, because I've seen them fight. They agree to fight. Like, hey, do you want to fight? They agree to fight. And then after, They're like, hey, good job. Like, that was fun.
Hey, Michelle, it's good to have you. Glad Mason invited you. And Daniel was invited by Mason as well. So we're going to give that away in just a moment. Yazel's daughter's here as well.
Look at that.
Wow. And so anyways, good to have you guys. And we're going to give those away in just a moment. But before we do, we're going to do Wordle, have a quick soul session. We're going to, Ye said something. I don't know exactly when he said it, but they did an interview with him, and I'm going to play a little bit of it because I think a lot of people feel the way he does. And I want to talk about that. And because, he's...
Yee? Is it Yee or is it Yay? I thought it was Yee.
I thought it was Yay.
It's yay.
Oh, it's Yay.
Huh. You're not.
No, I'm not.
You're not as hip as I am.
No, I'm not.
Oh, gosh.
Yes, many hip people do that movement that you did.
With their Tweety Bird shirt.
Hey, this was a Christmas present from my beloved.
Come on now.
Steph, your son just made fun of your Christmas gift. And his friend. All right, so we're going to do a quick Wordle because it's just something that we do here.
That's all you are, man, my friend.
I didn't say anything about the shirt.
So we have never not solved the puzzle, thanks mostly to our chat. So those of you who are in the chat for the first time, we are so glad that you are here because we hate to lose, okay? We're going to be giving these T-shirts away for those of you in the chat, along with, I don't know what I do with the Louis Vuitton. Oh, it's under the T-shirts. And we're going to give away a big Louis Vuitton. So let's start with Wordle. We need a 4-word letter. A five.
You do that
every time.
It just looks like 4 to me. We need a 5-letter word. So if you have a 5-letter word to start us with, so we know what letters are not there and in what order they are.
While we wait, I think this is like the 4th or 5th weekend in a row Pastor Danny hasn't been here.
Yeah.
Starting to miss him. Starting to miss him.
Yes. Well, he's in somewhere that's way hours ahead.
That's true.
So it's probably midnight where he is. Hey, I am sure, Pastor Danny, when you watch this, send us all a text so we'll all know that you actually did watch it, all right? Prove Pastor Carson wrong. All right, so truth.
Oh,
Dior
truth.
Alexandre says truth. All right, so we got one letter
in the right spot.
And in the right spot. So it starts with a T. So we need a word that starts with a T, and we need 4 other letters. Trust. No.
Nope, couldn't be that.
Trunk.
There's no R.
Or you.
Yeah.
R-U. There's no R-U, so stop saying tra. Title, T-I-T-L-E. No T.
Yes.
Well, there could be another T, right?
No, because this one popped up as yellow.
Okay.
Table, T-A-B-L-E.
We can give it a shot.
Yeah,
all right, so who said table? Derek and Vicky.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
So the T is right. The A and the L are right, but they're in the wrong place. So the L, it can't be TL. It can be T blank L. The A, so T something A something L. It's got an L and it's got an A. This could towel.
Towel. That's not a bad one.
There's an A though. So it is a bad one.
Never mind. Terrible. Terrible.
Come on,
what
Maria.
do you think, Maria?
Oh, that's a good one. Eric Blanco.
Title.
That's
Title?
a solid one.
All right.
I didn't know that was a word. Oh, tidal, like tidal wave.
Yeah,
Never mind. I knew.
So good.
Oh my gosh! Come on, Eric. That may be. Is that our quickest win?
I think that's tied. I think we've gotten another 3 before.
Way to go. On Mother's Day Eve, we have tied the record. We're about to give away these gifts, but before we do, we're going to have a soul session, and that's where we take a moment to talk seriously about important things. So welcome to my soul session. I need some music in the background. And can you make my voice deeper?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Welcome to my. That sounds like a monster.
All right, try this one. Try this one.
Welcome to my soul session.
I got one more. You want to try one more?
Yeah. Okay.
One more. Welcome to my soul session.
All right.
That was my favorite.
Here's what I want to talk about. I saw an interview of Kanye West, and as we know, he came out with a Christian record. He was even going around to churches and what was he calling it, Sunday morning or something like that? What was it?
Sunday service?
Sunday service.
Okay.
He was doing, he came out with merch, you know, I've been born again, all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden he just kind of went off the deep end, you know. He got married, he's got a new record out, it's got horrible language, all that kind of stuff. So he's talking about that with this gentleman here, and we can't play it all because, of course, the language is not pleasant. But I want to talk about what he says. So let's watch just a couple minutes of this.
Man, this is what I'm feeling right now. Are you in that space where you're comfortable enough to say, this is where I am right now? I'm still a man of God. Jesus still is king, but this is vultures right now. This is where I am.
It is, but I have my issues with Jesus. There's a lot of stuff I went through that I prayed and I didn't see Jesus show up. So I had to put my experience in this world, my experience with my children, my experience with other people, my experience with my account, my experience with my brand, and my experience with the level of music that I was dealing with in my own hands. Like a lot of times I just feel like in our society in America, you know, Christians, we're depend on Jesus so much that we won't put the word in ourselves. And the main thing that really that I don't rock with is like, it's just always like, I'm gonna pray for you. And it's just like, you can actually physically do something yourself too, more than just pray. And we're so in this mentality that's all that needs to happen, but we ain't praying our way out of prison. We ain't praying our way out of the abortion clinics. We ain't praying our way to get our land back that was always ours after gentrification, after the Harlem Renaissance and Black Wall Street was burned to the ground. Them prayers ain't working. We have to apply actual physical building partnerships. And it don't start unless we could really be real with each other and say, this is what I did, this is what I did. Like, I mean, look at this. I know I'm not going to third rail y'all interview, but look at the power of what happened when me and Kyrie was on the same page. See, that's what's scary. But what they do is they put us each in asylum and say, your grandmother going to lose her crib, and this going to, you know how many threats we've been dealt with? And I didn't pray my way through them threats either. I had to get up and do it myself.
So let's stop. That's probably enough right there. For one, I'm not a grilled person. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you know, I got tattoos. I'm good with that. I'm good with earring. I mean, even if they want to paint their fingernails, you know what I'm saying? That's not something I would do. But the grill to me just doesn't look right. I mean, but anyways, I mean, whatever. All right. I don't think you'd be seeing me with one of those. So, anyways, but what I wanted to talk about was, especially, well, two things. The part that, you know, there's some truth to, and then some that it's easy to judge Kanye, but I think a lot of people feel this way. And that is where he says he had some issues with Jesus. And his issues were that he prayed and God didn't do what he thought that he should. And what's interesting to me is, you know, most people would look at Kanye, and they would say, look at all, I mean, you're incredibly wealthy. You can go wherever you want. You can do whatever you want, right? And so in most people's mind, they would think, how can you say God didn't? But we all have a certain perspective of what we're thinking God should do and how he should respond. And sadly, we don't give God a whole lot of time. You know what I mean? When things don't go the way we want them to go, we get frustrated, we get angry at him. And God can take our frustrations in prayers, but then we often act out, right? His anger at God has caused him to go way over here, back to from, the way he's treating his new wife and what he's having her wear, to what he's posting, to his music, all of that. And the reason is because he's been through whatever the challenges are that he's been through, and God hasn't responded the way that he thought that he should. And I just want to, I think we need to pray for him. I don't know what mental challenges he has, because he seems his whole life to kind of be all over the place. But I think that before we judge him, a lot of us go through that thought process when God doesn't do what we think. And it depends on what it is. If it's something small, we might just get frustrated. If it's a little bit bigger, as a pastor, I've seen tons of people just quit God. They may not go way over to the other side of producing an album that, is just filled with the opposite of God or the antithesis of God, but they just kind of quit on him, and I want to encourage all of us. One is to remember that God's perspective is different than ours. And that a lot of times, I think Kanye looks to me kind of like my grandchildren, like Lion and Luna. And that is that they get really, really upset when they think that mom or dad are doing something that's not what they want. You know what I mean? It's not fair. It's not. And so they can get all upset. And I think that's the way Kanye's responding. But to me, it's kind of like looking in a mirror, because I wonder how many times have we thought the same thing. Maybe we just didn't go that far. You know what I'm saying? Where we're like, it's, and we get angry at God. We start going through the motions, or and then somebody defends God and we get mad at them as well. And again, I just think saying that if it can happen to somebody who, in our opinion, looks as if they've got everything, even if they're going through a bad time, it seems like, well, he's got a lot more. He knows, wealthy people. All those kind of things. God doesn't do what we want him to do. And it doesn't matter whether we don't have very much or we don't have wealth. And that's why I think it's so important that we build a relationship with him so that we can trust him. That's the reason our kids don't leave home at 5, right? Is because, and as teenagers, if we build relationships with our kids so that when they become teenagers, they may get frustrated with what we do, but they know in the end we love them and we want what's best for them. And I think the same thing is true with God. If I develop a relationship with him, then when he responds or doesn't respond in a way that I don't understand, because of my relationship, I can still trust him and follow him. And I can't tell you the number of times in my own life that on the other side, I was so thankful that I did. So if you're going through something like that right now, don't quit on him. It's okay to express. Jeremiah expressed his frustration. There are lots of examples. David did. There's lots of examples in Scripture where people going to God and say, God, I don't understand. God, I'm frustrated. God, this doesn't seem fair. God, I need you to act on my behalf. But don't give up on God. Don't get so angry with God you walk away from him, because you're just making it more difficult for you to ever get to where you actually desire to go. Jesus died so that your destiny could be fulfilled eternally and here on the planet, right? Give us life and give it to us abundantly. So don't go in circles. And I felt that pain, you know what I mean? And I see it in so many different people's lives. And it's easy to get where Kanye is, especially if you don't surround yourself with the right people. If you're not faithful to God's house, that's the reason I get up there and I say it here. And man, consistency and faithfulness is so important because you are going to go through stuff. It's part of our growth. It's also part of the fact that we live in a fallen world. And the only way for there not to be evil in this world is for God to make us all robots. God could do it, but you'd have no freedom. And because the only way God can keep evil out of the world is to make all of us do the antithesis of evil, to do right. And that means that we don't have freedom. So none of it's real then. And so there's going to be times, and I'm just saying, go to God with that. He's a big God, and you can take it to him and allow him to grow and transform us. The second part that he said was, you know, and I think it came out of frustration as well. You know, God's not going to come through, so I got to do it. Mm-hmm. But there is some truth to the fact that sometimes as Christians, we tend to, you know, pray so as not to have to do.
Yeah.
And I kind of taught on that a few weeks ago, actually, because it's, you know, James said faith that works is dead.
Yeah.
You know, that we have a faith that works. It's not that works gets us God's attention. It's that we have a faith. I mean, God's done so much that then we act. There's even that verse that I read, I don't remember now where it's found, where he says that it's kind of like we see someone who's, you know, needs something to wear, and we say, you know, we'll pray for you, as opposed to giving them something to wear or something to eat. And I think there's some truth to that, you know, because to act like a believer in the sense of doing something takes more energy and time, might take a sacrifice, right? It's a lot easier to sit and to say we're going to pray. So we need to do both. We need to pray, and we need to do what we can, because we may be the answer to somebody else's prayer. Somebody else was praying that this person would be helped, and God brought them within our path, and he wants us to step in and take the time to actually do something about it. So I think there's some truth to some of what he's saying, that we need to put feet to our prayers as if we truly believe they're going to happen, you know, as opposed to waiting for things sometimes to fall out of the sky. So what do you guys think there in the chat? I think it's a good discussion, you know, to have and to keep up with. And so I want to take a moment before we give away our giveaways and just say a prayer for anybody that might be going through a yay kind of situation. Father, I just take a moment and pray for anybody who's watching today, whether they're watching live or they're watching years from now, and they're just going through what seems to be totally unfair, and they don't sense your presence. I'd ask that, God, that you would send somebody into their lives. I pray, God, that you'd give them a peace. I pray, God, that you would draw them unto you, that they would share what they're feeling with you. And as a result of their emotions, they would actually grow closer to you because they trust you with what they're feeling. And at the end, they would see you for who you are. We all go through those seasons. And I pray, God, that you'd help all of us to be in such a tight relationship with you that we end up on the other side with a deeper relationship. And it's in the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
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 All right. Are you guys ready to see? We're going to start.
Really quick?
Yes.
Just because I wanted to ask. So Tyler had asked a question earlier about your watch. What watch you were wearing.
You like Tyler who?
Tyler Feller.
Tyler Feller. You know what? I am wearing, it's a green Breitling watch. And you know where I got this?
Where'd you get it? Breitling?
Israel. I got this in Israel.
It's a very nice watch.
Thank you. Yeah. I get compliments when I wear it because it's got a green face on it. And anyway, I like watches. One day when I die, Carson, you might get this watch.
Look at that.
Breitling, you don't seem very excited about it. Hey,
no, I am. I'm not excited for you to die, is what it is.
Tyler, who liked my watch, I'm going to put you in my will. You're going to get this watch, all right?
I like your car. Just saying.
That was good. That was good.
All right, moving on. Let's.
I guess I don't get the same treatment.
Are you ready, producer? All right. Let's give it up. Come on. Producer Nick, I just say, let's give it up, and you just give me that look. Oh, man. All right, let's see. Go ahead. And the winner is?
Winner is Mason, who invited Michelle.
Mason and Michelle.
Mason is a student.
That he is.
Within youth, but also is a student here at PCA.
All right, so Mason, you get to choose. Do you have a body made by chips and queso, or do you like the Houston Rockets, or do you like the Houston Texans? All right, whatever T-shirt you want. And who was this friend? Michelle, whichever ones you want, let us know. Text me, email me at troy@troygramling.com, and we will get them to you. Now we are drawing for Louis Vuitton. Do they have to be in the chat room to win?
Louis V.
I guess they do, because there's no name on these. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Or you can pull a few, and the first to DM you
Right.
gets it.
DM me on what?
On Instagram.
On.
Troy Gramling.
All right. So if you DM me, first one to DM me is okay.
Well, I guess there's no other way to do it.
All
I
right.
mean, yeah, theoretically anyone could DM you, but they won't do that.
DM me a picture of the ticket. Way to go. Way to go. Way to go. Because I got a number on this ticket, so you can't cheat. First one. Producer Jess, do you have my DMs?
Yes, we have them. Open.
All right. Here we go. 5. Can you guys type it up there to show as I say the words, letters? Numbers?
Yeah, I got it.
Every week, producer Carson says, "Hey, if you need to do something live, just let me know. I can do it."
Throw me
something wild.
5,
4. Look how small it is on the screen.
Hold on,
nobody can see that.
I don't know how to. Well, okay, that still didn't.
Made the box bigger, but not the letters.
5-4.
549037. 549037. If that's your number, this is yours. You have 5 seconds to DM me. 10 seconds to DM me. 30 seconds to DM, because we can't wait all night.
We got a delay.
Oh, there's a delay. Got to wait for the
At least
chats.
30 seconds.
Got to wait 30 seconds
for them to hear.
And then act.
DM me. You shouldn't take long, because you should be following me. Did y'all see that some radio show where I forget who, some player, like athlete, they were going to do an interview with him, and he said, do you follow my podcast? Patrick Beverly. And she said, she didn't even know he had a podcast. And he said, well, you can't ask me any questions.
He's suspended right now.
Well, he should be. That was very rude. And nobody stood up for her. That's wrong. That's wrong.
Pull another.
Go ahead and call another one.
Call another one.
All right, I'm sorry. Just in case you just tuned in, you lost 549037. We're moving on to 549026. 549026. I got a feeling we may be saying a lot of numbers.
Should I order a pizza?
Hey, how many do we have to give away before I can just take it home?
3.
It's Mother's Day. How about we give it? If nobody takes it, we give it to Steph.
Oh, there you go.
I don't. What version is it? Do we know? Like, does it have a name?
I forgot.
It's called something about sunset.
Yeah.
549026.
549026.
Put it back in. Wicked Evil Queen has been waiting for her number to be called.
Wicked Evil Queen. All right, let me give a few more. Let me just say. All right. Oh, this one fell out right here. This is the winner. 549024.
Oh, 549024.
I feel it. I feel like somebody's
5490. Wicked Queen, if you put your number up, I might be able to find it. 549024. Do we have a winner?
They haven't heard that number yet.
They haven't heard it yet.
Delay.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi. It's rough in here.
549024.
Oh, man.
I'm just going to do a few more, and we'll give it away next week. With another, tune in next week. We'll have another creative way in which to give it away.
P2 is giving us her number.
VI2.
She's calling her own.
Oh, look at the yours. Oh, I'm so close. VI2. Here's the next number. 549065.
Oh, so close.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's tough.
I'm so sorry, but it's the one in my hand.
549065. 065.
549065.
Calling it once. Calling it twice. Five, 4, 9, 0, 6.
All right, we're doing two more, and then we're calling it quits. Got to get home. Got to preach in the morning.
That you do.
All right. All right, folks. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh.
549069.
Oh!
It is the next one I drew. It is the next one I drew. That was her number, right?
Yep. Come on, VI2.
I think you have to, we needed to zoom in or something on that one.
Wow.
That's crazy. I almost don't believe it.
Yeah, it did. It was the very next one. Now, it might have been, I don't know why, but it was. And I almost threw it back in there because I thought, oh, nobody's going to believe that. But then I thought, God sees what I'm doing.
Oh.
And I wanted to do, I will draw one more because we will have an extra T-shirt. And if the what?
You want to draw this one?
Well, because I can only got one shirt. Oh, you know what? I got two shirts. I'll do that one. All right, this is the last drawing for those of you who invited somebody. We're going to do one more drawing because I've got lots of shirts. One from Orlando and one more from Houston. And the winner of this shirt is
Giselle, who invited Vivian.
Hey, Giselle, who invited Vivian.
Trickery.
Wow. So Vivian's won a T-shirt and a Louis Vuitton. All right. Hey, guys, I'm so glad you tuned in. Don't forget, I got a new book coming out June the 11th. You can pre-order it. It would be a huge help to me. And if you haven't already, join the book club. You can sign up. There's a link in the chat. I'm sure you can sign up. This is a real book, by the way. This is the book. I cannot release it until June the 11th, or I'll go to jail. No, I'm just teasing. I don't know if I go to jail, but supposed to wait till June the 11th. This is the real book. Oh, I'm telling you, I was reading it the other day, and I thought, man, I'm good. Okay.
No misspellings whatsoever.
That's right. Only 16 editors to get this book out.
Come on.
Hey, guys, but if you haven't pre-ordered it, it makes a difference. Don't forget, the podcast comes out every Thursday morning, and we're here every Sunday night on SNL. What?
Saturday.
What I
Saturday.
said?
Sunday.
You said Sunday.
Oh, we're not here on Sunday night, but so that we can be home with our families, loving Jesus on Sunday night. We're here on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Join us. We'll see you next week. Love you guys. We're out.